Siddaramaiah's was the first Congress government in South India to come to power, and somehow it became a benchmark for the party in subsequent elections. Today, of course, our focus is singularly on Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, a man who seems to be hemmed in from all sides and by his own from within the party and also government. Is Siddaramaiah fighting too many challenges, too many battles? Is he lonely at the top? They say it gets very lonely at the top. Let me first introduce you to the guests on the show, and then we will take up the challenges faced by Siddaramaiah. Joining me on the debate is Vijay Grover, who is a senior journalist, and Professor Chambi Puranik, who is a senior political analyst. And we are also awaiting yet another guest who shall join us, and then I will introduce you to him. First up, the most despicable comment made by Shivanand Patil, who is a minister in Siddaramaiah's cabinet, whose theory is that farmers in Karnataka wish for drought so that their loans can be waived off. And let us not forget that Karnataka is facing the worst drought in its history. He said, and I am quoting him here, "Water from river Krishna is free, electricity is free, many CMs gave seeds and fertilizers to farmers. Now farmers have only one wish, that drought recurs, it is because farm loans will be waived. You should not wish for that. Even if you don't wish for it, there will be a drought year every 3 or 4 years. When it is a distress year, governments can come to your aid, but it will be very difficult if aid is sought to all the time." And listen in, I read this out so that you know comprehensively what he said, but please listen in to what he said. Go ahead.
ಕೃಷ್ಣಾ ನದಿ ನೀರು ಪುಕ್ಕಟ್ಟದೆ, ಕರೆಂಟು ಪುಕ್ಕಟ್ಟದೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಬೀಜಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ಗೊಬ್ಬರನೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಇನ್ನು ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಆಸೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಮಗನ ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಬರಗಾಲ ಬೀಳಲಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸಾಲ ಮನ್ನಾ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಂಗೆ ಬಯಸ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದ್ರಾಗೇನು ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಡ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 3-4 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ತಿ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೂ ಈ ಸರ್ತಿ ಬಂದದ್ದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನೂ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಲೋನಿಗೆ, ಮಧ್ಯಮ ಅವಧಿ ಲೋನಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಬಡ್ಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ಸಾಲನೇ ಸೂಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾರೆ, ನಿಮಗೇನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಇದೇ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾರೆ, ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿನೂ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾರೆ, ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವರು ಬಿಟ್ಟಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಏನು ಸಂಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ನೆರವಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಆದರೆ ಸದಾ ನಮ್ಮ ನೆರವಿಗೆ ಬಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೂ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಅಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಂದಾಲೋಚನೆ ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ನಮಗೆ ಉಜ್ವಲವಾದಂಥ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಮಾತು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಕಬ್ಬಿನಿಂದ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಇಥೆನಾಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
Now, in the face of what Prime Minister Modi has been saying, there are only 4 castes in the country, he said: farmers, women, the poor and the youth. When you look at it from the prism of what Modi is saying and what is going on in Siddaramaiah's government, has Siddaramaiah been left alone to salvage the situation? Let me go to the guest. I will take up each challenge individually and then ask the guests. Vijay Grover and Professor Puranik, namaskara to both of you. Also, I think our third guest has joined, Mr. S. Rajasekara. Yes, there he is. Mr. Rajasekara, namaskara to you. Nice to have you on the show, sir. Professor Puranik, I am starting with you. This entire Shivanand Patil, what he said about, earlier also he had made some terrible remarks about farmers' suicide, that, oh, you want to get compensation. Now he is saying, oh, you want to get loans waived. Now look at Modi. He is time and again saying farmers, youth, women and the poor. These are the 4 main jatis, like he says, 4 main castes in this country. What does Siddaramaiah do if his ministers go around speaking like this, Professor?
Well, Sudha, I also join you in saying that it's a very sad and very irritating and also a very insensitive comment made by Minister for APMC and one who is in charge of all these affairs of farmers, in terms of getting the fair price and all that. But from Well, I think, your observation that Siddaramaiah has no control over his ministers, I think it's proving one after another, So today is the day when the fifth guarantee of Siddaramaiah government,
Yes.
your Nidhi is being inaugurated, in terms of enrollment, etc., of the youth, unemployed youth, both graduates and diploma holders. So that's what I'm saying is, on the one side, you are trying to justify and see that the guarantees reach to the people. On the other hand, there are ministers who are arrogant, and I would say are insensitive. They are thick-skinned. The moment they become ministers, they think they know everything. Sarvagnani. Now that is not the thing. A minister he is a public servant, and he should not say repeatedly, "Now everything is being given free, subsidized." So, whose money is given? He is giving taxpayers' money. He has no right to comment on farmers who are really in drought situation. 124 talukas of Karnataka
True.
officially
Yeah.
declared that they are under drought.
Yeah.
And the same Siddaramaiah government went to Delhi to
Yes.
request for release of extra
That's
grants,
exactly
additional
what I
relief,
was,
etc.,
yeah,
etc. So
absolutely
when
going.
such is the
Yeah.
and I think Siddaramaiah is, very seasoned administration. As I said earlier in your channel, his second term as CM, I think he has lost that grip, whatever
Yes,
the
yes.
kind of
That's why I'm
hold he had.
saying you're right. He's lost that. It seems like it's slipping out of his hands, and therefore, I'm not great respect for Mr. Siddaramaiah. I mean, what a politician, seasoned, but somewhere he's losing the grip. He's feeling like all over everyone is kind of, from his own party and his own government, Vijay. The thing is that the farmers are a major constituency. That's one factor. Number two is that, like Professor said, Karnataka is facing a very, very bad drought. It is the worst in decades, the worst ever drought. Siddaramaiah goes to Delhi asking for, a couple of crores from Modi to say, please salvage it. And then this insensitive from one of his own people comes. What is this? Does Siddaramaiah not control his people? I mean, it seems that it's just a free for all, no, Vijay? कभी कोई कुछ बोलता है, कभी कोई कुछ बोलता है.
Good evening, Sudha. The fact is that this government somewhere seems to be not knowing which direction it is headed and who's in control. That's the biggest challenge we are seeing now, because these kind of statements, or the video by Zamir, or the other controversies that we have seen, certainly clearly show that Siddaramaiah is not very visibly a strong leader and somebody who could call the shots. Because even I just would want to highlight over here that in the last couple of weeks, whenever I've met some of the politicians unofficially somewhere over at the meetings or at functions, very clearly the question that is there: will DK become the chief minister? Will Siddaramaiah give way? So clearly that's a Damocles sword which is hanging on his head, and he doesn't know whether how many MLAs are exactly with him and how many are scheming against him. Because the pressure that is mounting on him to give up his post to DK Shivakumar, even before the parliamentary election, is something that seems to be the biggest internal talk in the party at the moment, and that is something which is seems to be weighing on his head and the other's head as well. Now, whether these statements come willfully to embarrass Siddaramaiah, or whether they come out of sheer frustration about not knowing what the future is, that is something which is clearly reflecting badly on the government and the capabilities of the chief minister to be able to ensure that there is discipline within his own team, and that is not visible at all. That's a very sad state of affairs. Now, whether because there has been hypothetical speculation that in case DK Shivakumar is made the chief minister, as the center wants it, or center, when I say the high command warrants it, that he is the man who won Telangana for them, and the need is being felt to make him the chief minister even before the parliamentary elections. That is something where we are seeing these fault lines emerge. Now, this is a mystery to everybody, whether
Yes.
these faults are being created intentionally, or it is out of frustration, or is it
Yeah,
a
but
ploy to keep
yeah. So
issues
the thing is that you're being
stuck?
very kind, Vijay. You're saying it's a mystery. No one knows. But what is the perception amongst the people then? I mean, if you are going to erode the faith and the trust of every constituency, farmers, women, students, you will be eroded. Karnataka people are very smart. They will see it. Mr. Rajasekhara, let me come to you, sir. And I am asking you that even as the BJP is getting its house in order in Karnataka, Vijendra, that's another conversation, whether he's put his own people, not put in his own people, whether he's doing. But the point is that the Karnataka BJP is gearing up for 2024. But look at the Congress right now. My story, main story today is that is Siddaramaiah facing the heat from his own people. And the first topic that we were, as you must have heard Professor speaking and also Vijay speaking, I want you to tell me, this kind of statements which are anti-farmer, everyone has reacted. K.T. Ramarao from Telangana has reacted, the BJP will of course react, everyone is watching. If this is the kind of a thing, and also let's not forget he is part of the India bloc, don't you think that Siddaramaiah is actually not in control? He is losing the grip, sir. Please unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, maybe to an extent it is true, but the statement made by Shivanand Patil is insensitive as well as politically incorrect, as well as perception-wise in public life, it is very amateurish. And probably what Siddaramaiah should have done, must have done immediately after this statement was to reprimand him and pull him up and not to make such statements, and also issue warning to all his cabinet colleagues not to do such things. But that has not happened to a great extent. At least it is not conveyed to public where the perception matters. So when you see from that side, yes, you may feel that Siddaramaiah maybe this is his last term in public life as a chief minister. And as Vijay pointed out, that he may be counting the days that the day may come, he has to give to DK Shivkumar. But that is a larger question that will be debated at the party forum and decided later. But as they gear up for the Lok Sabha elections, this was very uncalled and
no, uncalled for. Mr. Rajasekhara, this will have an impact on the reputation of the government and the party. And who is the head of the government right now? Mr. Siddaramaiah. So you see, the point is that he is unable to. I mean, I'm not saying he has to crack the whip, but somewhere he is not even.
He should have done to send a signal that he is in control of things. That he has not done. That's very unfortunate. So that he should have done. That's what I was trying to say, that the chief minister should have immediately pulled him up and told all his cabinet colleagues and the people who matter in party, even the party functionaries maybe, not to make such insensitive and uncharitable comments, particularly about